Have you heard? Have you heard the latest? Perhaps not. So Lamar Jackson, we were wondering, when is the deadline? He has officially given the Baltimore executives a point of demarcation to finalize his extension. He told the Baltimore media that both sides are still engaged in discussions, he says, but he's planning to cease negotiation on Friday. That would be tomorrow, right? Tomorrow, that's it. Quote, as of right now, we're still talking, Lamar articulated. The week's not over yet, but soon will probably be a deadline. Probably be cut off after this week. Probably being a weasel word, 100%. Now, Jackson, who famously decided to represent himself in the contract discussions with his mom and a rep from the union, has maintained that he will discontinue the contract talks once the start of the regular season gets going. Now, state-sponsored NFL Network, they say that there has not been much progress at all on any potential deal, and sources close to the situation, who may or may not be in the greater Baltimore area, have been maintaining this position all year, that Lamar was not going to get what Lamar wanted, and this was the only way this was going to play out. So let us discuss the question. Why would Lamar Jackson put an arbitrary deadline on getting a mega contract? So my observations, I've got Feline Friends, Chicken Shack, and Roller Coaster. And we will lock all of these things together, and we are going to make a dead poet. The Ravens, of course, the dead poets of the NFL. So, number one, Lamar Jackson. What he's doing here is following the boilerplate approach for athletes. Since he does not have a formal agent, Lamar Jackson is attempting to navigate the murky waters around Maryland on his own. And he has pivoted now, turning to our feline friends. No. Not a kitty cat. No, not a kitty cat. Nope. A copycat. Copycat. Come here, copycat. Mimicking what he has seen other players do with contracts. This is a page out of Major League Baseball. You toss out ultimatums. It is a myopic view. It is something someone does when they just want to follow the herd, right? You don't want to stand out from the pack. Now, I had my contract was up here at Fox Sports Radio, and I was very patient. And I said, if they're dumb enough to keep me around, I will be dumb enough to take their money. And that's been my attitude. I think that's a good attitude. If someone wants to pay you a ridiculous amount of money, you're telling me in week 5, if Biscotti, the owner of the Ravens, calls up Lamar and says, oh, by the way, we want to give you this big fat contract, he's not going to take the money. Come on. There's no logic in putting in a drop-dead date other than to try to force the issue. That's the only thing, but it's not going to work here. It's a narrow-minded approach. Now, secondly, on page 2, so what are the odds that the Ravens end up caving in the 11th hour for Lamar Jackson? So the odds are slim and none. And Slim has a ticket and is getting ready to go on the plane out of town. The smart move, we say this all the time in these contract negotiations, the smart move would be to stand your ground if you're Harbaugh and the Ravens from an organizational standpoint. If you were in that front office, you would say, no. Lamar Jackson is vulnerable because of his smashable approach to football. He has also recently played more like Jared Goff as a passer and less like the video game cheat code he was during his MVP season a couple years back. He gets ramshackled weekly, putting himself in harm's way, which is great and all that. So we are at the part of the story right now. We are in the chicken shack part of the story, as in the high-stakes game of chicken. Bok, chicken! Who's going to flinch first? Who's going to do it? Now, Baltimore has made it pretty clear that they have a certain dollar amount they want to pay Lamar Jackson, and they're not going to go over that. And they would like a nice team-friendly contract with a lot of fake money, a deal that has, like the old board game Chutes and Ladders, a lot of escape hatches and portals and whatnot there, where there's bonus money, and there's money, but it's certainly not the record-breaking contract that Lamar wants. Lamar would like to get the creepy quarterback money, and they say, what about me? And the Ravens are like, come on. That's what the Browns do. The Browns gave that horn dog, Deshaun Watson, all that money. We're not that dumb. That's the Browns. You want to play for the Browns? We'll trade you to the Browns. If you're the Ravens, you would love to play the old Dan Snyder elementary school game of tag. Remember years ago with Kirk Cousins before he went off to Minnesota, Cousins was tagged back-to-back and belly-to-belly by Washington. They were called the Redskins then. You could say that. They were called. It was their name. They went year to year. And that would be the perfect scenario if you were advising the Ravens on being the adult in the room and saying, okay, Lamar Jackson, we got him this year, and we essentially have him for 3 years, but it's kind of like your standard radio contract. It's like a 3-year contract, but you can get out of it at any point in time after each particular year. So it's a year-to-year thing. You limit your liability. All right, final point. So how does this season play out, oh, great soothsayer, if Lamar does not get the forever money? How does it play out? I'm glad you asked. So if the two sides are unable to avoid the loggerheads and cannot reach an agreement, Lamar will have to live on a shoestring budget. He is going to be forced, the humanity, to play this season on his 5th-year option that is worth a mere $23 million. Lord help him. And then he will become a free agent next offseason and will get the franchise tag or else. It's feast or famine. Feast or famine. This year will become a white-knuckle roller coaster ride of emotion for Lamar Jackson. It makes for good drama. If he doesn't get the contract, you talk about a precarious situation. Now, he's got his $23 million guaranteed. Each week will be equal parts exhilarating and frightening. We're talking adrenaline charged. And I've got no dog in the fight here. I'm not a Raven person. But if Lamar goes out, plays well, let's say he dominates the JETS, suck, then the price of the stock goes up, starts paying out more dividends. Plays poorly, and down. And you see the future earnings go the wrong direction. There's also the wild card in this. The wild card would be to suffer some kind of crippling injury, and then you file for bankruptcy. But I would argue that the $23 million salary this year is a pretty good nest egg. And if you invest that money in a diversified portfolio properly, you will be set for the rest of your life and for generations and generations and generations of the Jackson family will be taken care of. Get a little real estate, get some Wall Street going there. You'll be in good shape. Now, Baltimore opens up the 2022 championship season, trying to return to the postseason on Sunday against the train wreck that is the JETS suck in the swamplands of Jersey at MetLife Stadium. At the beginning of the regular season, you talk about a nice soft launch with Joe Flacco on the other side. Sign me up for that if you're the Ravens. Boy, if they screw this up, Baltimore, there's no way, right? They're a big, fat favorite on the road. They're playing a wicked, bad Jets team. Like, there's no way they're going to screw this up. No way they can screw this up, right? That's why they play the games.